Paul Burrell, who for a long time was Princess Diana's rock, has revealed that Meghan Markle plans to leave Prince Harry to become a billionaire and run for the governor of California. Now, I know a lot of you will be thinking, that sounds mental. But actually, what Paul Burrell says here in this new interview matches up with the reporting that I have been doing for some time. Watch this.
Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody says out loud. Meghan Markle may have believed she struck gold by marrying into royalty, but what she really ended up with is a man who seems more lost than wealthy. Prince Harry, once painted as the ultimate prize, has turned out to be far from the golden ticket Meghan imagined. Insiders say Meghan assumed she was signing up for billionaire-level fortunes, endless castles, luxury yachts, and generational treasure. Instead, she's tied to a husband with only modest millions to his name, along with enough emotional baggage to overflow Buckingham Palace itself.
The two cultures which came together in the marriage of Harry and Meghan, there's a fault line down the middle of it. And I feel that will crack one day. Think about it.
Now that the fairy tale has unraveled, Meghan is allegedly shifting gears. Forget the royal duties, forget the Netflix fluff, and forget the faux lifestyle projects. This is now about locking down a serious payday. And not just any billionaire, but the kind of man who could bankroll her entire next chapter without asking a single question. No jam jars to hawk, no awkward pineapple tutorials on camera, just pure financial security. Dan Wooten, never one to mince words, recently laid it out exactly as he sees it. According to him, Meghan Markle would leave Harry in a heartbeat if someone like Elon Musk so much as blinked in her direction. He didn't sugarcoat it either, saying Meghan has already taken everything she needed from Harry and is now eyeing her next move.
Harry came from this very busy world of the royal family with lots to do. Even in his spare time, he could play polo and do whatever he wanted. He sat in Montecito, twiddling his thumbs, thinking, what do I do next? What is my role? Where is my work?
The title, the global fame, the princess storyline, that part of Meghan's mission is already complete. And what's left? Not much at all. Just a man with no close friends, shaky family ties, limited money, and almost zero career direction. And here's the kicker. It's not just speculation anymore. Even people from Meghan's own circle are starting to leak details. One insider told Fox's Kennedy that Meghan Markle has slipped right back into who she was before Harry ever came along. An ambitious LA actress chasing influence, attention, and opportunity in all the same high-powered Hollywood rooms.
And I think that will wear thin in time. As Meghan rises in Netflix firmament into whatever she will do, fashion, beauty, whatever, jam,
politics,
wine,
maybe?
Politics, marry a, well, eventually.
It's giving old school influencer energy, and it's flopping hard. With her poll numbers sinking and her pet projects collapsing, Meghan's glow-up plan looks like it's falling apart fast. And the worst part, she's apparently become a running joke in her own neighborhood. Insiders in Montecito claim her neighbors are openly laughing behind her back. That whole "I'm just a normal mom" performance isn't convincing anyone. Reports say she's trying to sell herself as relatable, all while still demanding private jets, 5-star retreats, and elite dinner party invitations. The contradiction is deafening. You can't post lighthearted pineapple hacks one day, then jet off to give a speech about climate change the next. The hypocrisy is impossible to miss.
I think it won't be enough for Meghan and it won't be enough for Harry. And she will just go off and her next step is a billionaire. Because she's got millions, so why not step up to a billionaire? And why not go for politics? Why not become governor of California?
People are noticing and people are talking. Even big names in media and Hollywood are starting to slowly distance themselves from Meghan. Brooke Shields, who once shared the stage with her at South by Southwest, recently cracked a sly joke on a podcast that left listeners doing a double take. Shields, a woman who has weathered Hollywood's toughest storms while keeping her dignity intact, subtly called Meghan out for sounding shallow and over-rehearsed. She specifically pointed to Meghan's constant recycling of that old "I wrote a letter at age 11" story. Brooke didn't hold back. She hit Meghan with a cold splash of reality, reminding everyone that not every anecdote deserves to be retold 100 times, especially when it comes across like nothing more than polished PR fluff.
I'm going to be talking to P. Diner about Meghan Markle's ambitions when it comes to politics. They haven't gone away. And yes, right now her popularity is rock bottom, but she's seen people turn it around. The first thing you need in American politics is name recognition.
And then we get to the money problem. Meghan's Netflix cooking show, if you can even call it that, has been publicly mocked, not just by critics, but by fellow celebrities, commentators, and even people who once worked with her. Her much-hyped jam and jelly empire, already drying up fast. That dream of becoming the next Martha Stewart or Joanna Gaines collapsed almost as quickly as it started. Because here's the reality. Meghan isn't relatable. She isn't trusted. And worst of all, in Hollywood, she isn't profitable. Behind all the glossy empowerment slogans and carefully curated branding, the truth is plain. Meghan Markle looks like she's searching for a new life raft. Something bigger, richer, and far more exclusive than anything Prince Harry could ever bring to the table.
Harry is not going to make her a billionaire. Prince Harry will not make Meghan Markle a billionaire. She wants to be a billionaire if it's the last thing she does. Those marmalade pots, they're not going to make her a billionaire, trust me. So who will? A new man.
Ted Sarandos may have once hyped Meghan up as a rock star, but that shine faded fast. Insiders reveal that Netflix executives have grown quietly frustrated with her lack of real results. The headlines were huge in the beginning. A royal-going Hollywood that sells, but only for about 5 minutes. Once the cameras rolled and it was time to deliver, the sparkle ran out of substance. It quickly became clear that Meghan wasn't interested in creating. She was more interested in posing. And when production budgets are being burned through, that difference matters a lot. Her so-called cooking show, it looked less like a legitimate series and more like a vanity project dressed up as content. Just look at that now viral pineapple clip, where she dramatically showed viewers how to eat the fruit by pulling on nature's wedge lines. It was meant to be clever, but it ended up being unintentionally hilarious.
At some point, if it's offered up, it might happen. That is why she is constantly meeting new billionaires, whenever she can.
Nobody was learning from Meghan's clips. They were laughing at them. The footage was so embarrassing that even her own producers scrapped it from the final cut. And yet, Meghan bizarrely decided it was good enough to bring back as bonus content for her audience. That single move showed just how out of touch she really is. She seems to believe she's serving up Martha Stewart-level wisdom, but the reality is it's nothing more than Pinterest fluff, just dressed up with brighter lighting and a luxury kitchen set. And while Meghan leans into this hollow performance, Harry's standing slips further into tragedy. Those close to the couple whisper that he's become a shadow of the man he once was.
He claims that when Prince Harry first met the duplicitous fake Duchess, he didn't see Meghan Markle, he saw his mother.
Whatever confidence Harry once carried as a prince now seems buried beneath layers of PR scripts, therapy cliches, and awkward podcast soundbites. Insiders say he rarely challenges Meghan's decisions, even when it's clear they're dragging down his image. He's simply along for the ride. Every so often, he's pulled in front of a camera to smile and nod, while Meghan delivers long monologues about empowerment and mental health, even as their shared brand quietly unravels from within. And Meghan, she's been slipping into new spaces, quietly floating around billionaire circles in search of her next opportunity.
I truly believe that when he met Meghan, she whispered into his ear. A 36-year-old mature woman whispered into his ear, "Harry, you and I could change the world." And I don't think he heard Meghan's voice. I think he heard his mother's voice. And that's what he was searching for. He was searching for the love which he had with his mother.
No one has caught Meghan with anyone new yet, but sources insist she's been making herself strategically visible at the right places. Silicon Valley mixers, private charity galas, and even the occasional exclusive tech retreat in Big Sur. And one name that repeatedly surfaces is a European telecom mogul with a reputation for dating actresses whose fame has already peaked. There's no confirmation, but the whispers and sightings aren't slowing down. At the same time, there's chatter about Meghan circling back toward Ted Sarandos. Not for professional reasons, but for proximity. Some insiders believe she sees him as a valuable ally, and possibly even something more than that.
He was, and it's sad, but I would argue what's particularly sad is the fact that Meghan Markle knew that. And she manipulated him because of that. Then, when she got everything that she wanted, right? Everything that she wanted.
He's powerful, wealthy, and deeply connected. And for Meghan, the most important detail is that he once admired her. Maybe he still does. That's why she keeps planting herself in the spaces where real decisions are made, hoping someone influential enough decides she's valuable again. But here's the problem. Value is everything. And in Hollywood, titles don't matter. Metrics do. Meghan's name once trended worldwide, but now it mostly sparks eye rolls. One anonymous executive put it bluntly. She's box office poison. No one wants to gamble on her anymore. Harsh but accurate. Her projects flop, her appearances stir backlash, and even her former cheerleaders, big names like Mindy Kaling and Oprah, have gone silent. That silence from her former allies speaks volumes. Meghan now finds herself trapped in a strange in-between, too controversial for Hollywood's mainstream, too showy for the royals, and not profitable enough for the brand she keeps chasing. That billionaire rescue fantasy, it's looking less like a plan and more like a mirage. Because the men she's targeting, the ones with real legacy and power, aren't searching for a woman in need of a lifeline. They can spot a social climber from a mile away. And just when things couldn't look worse, Kennedy from Fox News dropped a sharp little truth bomb, straight from a Montecito insider. Meghan's own neighbors are fed up with the entire performance. Behind closed doors, Montecito neighbors are reportedly laughing at Meghan's attempts to rebrand herself as just a normal woman juggling motherhood, business, and public service. It's the kind of reputation collapse you simply can't repair with glossy PR or a staged photo shoot. Even in her own exclusive zip code, the very people she's desperate to impress, locals are mocking the gap between her carefully polished image and the messy reality. And it's not just the neighbors catching on, the elite social circles are beginning to see through it too. Meghan's brand of aspirational living no longer feels aspirational at all. It's being labeled cringe. The whispers are growing louder. She looks like she's chasing a dated, old-school celebrity formula, and it's not working. The formula is old. Tell an underdog story, launch a lifestyle brand, marry into money, rinse and repeat. But today's audience isn't buying it anymore, especially when those supposed struggles are wrapped in designer coats and filmed between private jet trips. Even Meghan's most loyal supporters are beginning to step back. The Obamas, once warm toward the couple, have stayed noticeably silent. Oprah, who gifted Meghan and Harry their explosive interview platform, hasn't followed up with any new collaborations. And Tyler Perry, once her personal savior who provided the mansion and security detail, is now openly hinting that he expects repayment for his generosity. None of this is a good sign. It's exactly what happens when people stop viewing you as an asset and begin seeing you as a liability. Meanwhile, Prince Harry looks completely stuck. Here's a man who gave up everything, his military honors, his family ties, even his country, for the promise of freedom and peace that never truly arrived. Instead, he's caught in an endless cycle of projects that flop and a marriage that by many accounts feels more transactional than romantic. At public appearances, the pattern is impossible to ignore. Meghan takes the lead, Harry trails behind, she delivers the speeches, he nods along. And when he does speak, it's almost always scripted, carefully filtered through a PR machine, desperate to keep them relevant. But none of it is landing. And now every slip, every stumble, every awkward moment, they're all being caught by the media. Whether it's Meghan's awkward pineapple cutting clip or that painfully dull second season of her Netflix series that nobody wanted, the backlash has grown far louder than the buzz. Meghan wanted to reinvent herself as a mogul, building a brand to rival Goop or Skims. But here's the problem. She doesn't have Gwyneth's relatability or Kim's relentless hustle. She doesn't innovate, she imitates. And in today's culture where audiences crave authenticity, imitation simply doesn't sell. Even Hollywood veterans are calling it out. Brooke Shields, one of the industry's most respected names, recently threw subtle shade on a podcast. She referenced Meghan's overused "when I was 11" story, making it clear she's tired of hearing it on repeat. Coming from someone who endured decades of real scrutiny and genuine trauma, Brooke's message landed hard. Meghan's sanitized empowerment tales don't inspire anymore, they exhaust.